Are you guys ready?
Let's go.
They're ready, they say. George Ringer and our special guest, Bronco Athletic Hall of Famer Dick Ostrud. How many years did you coach it for the Broncos?
How many years did I coach for the Broncos? Let's see.
22 as track? Have I got that right?
22 as head coach at track. 4 years ahead before that as assistant.
Okay.
And
what else?
Oh yeah,
A little wrestling?
did a little wrestling too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A little grappling?
When I came to town, there was no wrestling coach assigned. A guy named Sutherland had started the program.
Right.
Yeah. So I told Walt Sheila that I was interested.
Okay.
he met me the first time and thought,
yeah.
I'm going to Shanghai this guy. He must be good for something. Later that year, after coaching football with Jim Rolando, he offered, hey, you want to go coach some basketball? And about a half hour prior to that, I said to Asti, I'd go and coach wrestling. And I told you guys years later that after all the coaches quit, I could have been your head coach. What? I chose wrestling instead.
There you go. Yeah. So you were in Princeton yesterday for a cross-country meet, shooting the gun?
Shooting the gun.
So you must have saw some pretty good programs down there this year, Leah.
No, it wasn't very impressive, really.
Oh.
It was 3 teams. You would have thought they were pretty good. North Branch was there, Malacca, and Princeton, but no stirring times there. But, it was a hot day. And,
It was.
Yeah, the temperatures, the humidity was oppressive is the word I'm going to use.
It was, yeah.
So.
A little bit different up here. Nice and cool.
Yeah, it is nice and cool.
But it was very, very humid yesterday, last night for the first home volleyball game. So we'll talk more about Bronco sports. I always finish up with Bronco sports when we talk about it. So we'll talk about that at the end. So, well, George, is there any place in particular you'd like to start with this?
Let's see here.
This show that we haven't done now for a couple of weeks again because we can't seem to get schedules.
If I told you I've been paying attention to the preseason games of the Minnesota Vikings, would you be surprised?
No, but I would. Well, I know you told me the other day when we were chatting that you're trying to put the final 53 together for the Vikings, and I'm like, that's a bold undertaking. I mean, some people say calculus is hard. Figuring out who the Vikings are going to pick for their final 53, I think, is harder than that.
It's really not that bad because.
Are you sure?
The only thing that screwed it up was this guy named Trey Lance.
Oh,
because people are freaking out, and he says he's going to come to the Minnesota Vikings.
Trey Lance said this?
No. But
people are saying that.
People are saying this, and so they said that there were 3 pros to this, and there were 3 cons.
All right, I want to hear all of them.
Okay. Well, the 3 pros is that they're not going to keep Cousins around forever, and so maybe he might be the backup quarterback. And that at that point in time, they'll get rid of Mullen, which I think would be a mistake. And then they would have to. I mean, the other thing is that he's always showing skills, and he'll be a local attraction because he's around. So I don't think that means diddly. And the cons were number 1 was he's not very accurate with his passes. He hasn't played very much in the pros, so nobody really knows what he's capable of. And the third one is that this year his salary is going to be $3.7 million. And next year it goes up to 5.6. At this point,
that's a drop in the bucket compared to $40 million for Kirk.
That's okay, but Kirk plays, and you don't know if this kid can. But I do like the kid, and I do think he has a lot of talent. Now somebody came up with, well, they would have to trade somebody. And then the name Hawkinson came up, and I thought, oh, let's put some brakes on this puppy right now.
Well, one, we know that Trey Lance is an injury waiting to happen. That's how I feel about him. And I don't think there's any doubt about that. TJ hasn't shown that he can get healthy. He hasn't done a snap. He hasn't done a practice yet.
No.
Ear infection, now bad back.
Yeah.
I'd like to see TJ stick around, but do you want TJ or do you want Trey? Which one do you want?
Right now, I think they have 3 of the finest tight ends in the league.
Okay.
They have, Hawkinson, which you can put, in the slot anywhere you want to. You can even split him, and he'll catch a pass. They got one down there that's a 6-time Pro Bowl. Because he's a blocker and one of the best blockers in the league. And then you have some speed on the other side that can flush. I mean, right now these days you have to look from sideline to sideline to see what's going to go on, because you look in the backfield, there's nothing there. So you see what they can do with these tight ends, which means that they're not going to keep 4. And so this Muse that I really like, because he played 2 terrific
He's
games.
number 34, right?
He's number 34. He will be the 4th tight end, and I think that they will release him unless
They trade TJ.
unless they trade
Wow.
TJ.
This is good stuff, folks.
Yeah. So I got to tell you, I've been working on this.
Yeah.
None of that can come true, but those are all the possibilities.
So Justin Jefferson's on the 53.
No, they're going to keep.
They're gonna let Justin Jefferson go.
No, Jefferson ain't going anywhere. But the other thing is, I watched the pre-games, and there's a couple of names that came up. One is Ivan. What's his last name? This junior. He's the middle linebacker.
Can't help you
I can't help you either because I watched almost the entire the preseason game last Saturday night, and I couldn't tell you much about it because it was kind of like noise in the background. It was on
Ivan Pace Jr.
Ivan Pace Jr.
He's 5'10", 230 pounds.
Oh yes, I remember.
And
I think we conversed about him earlier.
He is really, really good, and so he is going to be plucked. And actually, he might start the first game. And so he's kind of a surprise. He's from Cincinnati. I think he might have been drafted in the 6th round. And then they have the second running back come out of this mess, and that's Ty Chandler. He's a second-year man might even be third-year man now this year, from North Carolina. But he really played well in both games. He's 210 pounds, but he runs like he's 230. He runs real hard. And then the other guy, and he's my favorite, Najee Thompson. Najee Thompson is from southern Georgia, and the television papers down there wrote him up as the Flash because, guys, he's really fast. And so I've seen him bust up 2 beautiful punts. I mean, the punter was just a living target, standing there waiting to get demolished by this guy. He outruns everybody, and so I noticed that they kept him as a cornerback, so he's down for it. But they says, what's he fighting for? He's fighting for life on the special teams, and he will play that. But this guy's got just raw speed. Those are the 3 that I picked out the first game, and I thought, I hope that these guys make it, and they all 3 did.
There you go.
Yeah. That being said,
they're 0-2.
They didn't play 33 of their starters, which means that you got about 30 guys playing for 7 positions.
So it was like watching the XFL.
Well, they brought in an XFL player. Well, I'll tell you, one of them is like, they played Ingram at guard, and I know he needs the work, and he was playing well. And then when you have in there a man like last year and the year before that have struggled, well, you see him now next to rookies in that position. It takes a long time to learn how to play that offensive line position.
Yeah, it's one of those things that takes. It's a transition from college to the pros.
It just is a transition.
Got to be patient.
And everybody's 6'6" and 325 pounds. They're just one of them is as big as all 3 of us, and that wasn't always the case.
So what else? Go ahead.
No, but anyway, I think that they're all going to be set, and we have TJ and Josh Oliver and Johnny Mund, and but they thought that they would release Nick Muse, and if they trade TJ, I think they should have their heads examined. But
even for a Hall of Fame quarterback and Trey Lance.
Well, but he's going to throw a couple of passes before he gets right into the HOF. He's got to pass in a couple in there. And right now, I'm amazed that he didn't make the cut. And how many teams carry 3 quarterbacks? I know some do.
Some.
Yeah.
May not be a horrible idea.
It may not be a horrible idea.
So everything I read, everything that comes across my phone,
Yeah.
they're predicting disaster for the Vikings. Now, when they predict disaster,
I don't see that.
I understand they went 13-4 last year. They're not going to go 13-4.
They're the luckiest football team I've ever seen.
Okay, so at this point, how many wins should we expect?
Oh, I think we can easily think 10, and I tell you why. I think the defense is going to be playing better, and I'll tell you, I feel real confident with Harrison Smith back there. He's my favorite defensive player. He looks like he's in control, and and back in that safety position, he looks like a guy that's driving a truck, and the truck is right now getting meaner and meaner.
Are the defense, because I did pay attention some to the broadcast last week, it seemed like every defensive player that they talked to on the TV's like, oh, we love this new defense. We love this. We get to do this and this and this. Are they filling us full of crapola, or do you think they really mean it?
Well, I think they do, because first off, they're coming in from college and learning a complete different system. Remember what it was like when you went from high school to college? Geez, we sitting around talking. So we didn't have that problem at UMD because they only had 3 plays. That was for the whole year. And so we didn't have to worry too much about that.
Well, I had to learn how to scoop block. How do you scoop block? It's real simple, Tim. You take one step and you just run till you meet somebody.
Yeah.
As soon as you touch him, you just keep blocking. Well, that's pretty simple. I can understand that. Just scoop, man, scoop.
Yeah, you learned some technique.
Well, it also helped that we had a guy out of Kalamazoo that could run like the wind. So he didn't matter where, you just block that guy and he'll figure it out from there.
It made a difference.
That helps.
It made a difference who you were playing with.
You bet.
Playing against.
You bet.
Yeah.
So
anyway, I think this is kind of an exciting team. Those guys, when they talk about the Flash, he wasn't drafted at all. He was undrafted, and Ivan Pace, if he was drafted, not very much, but he was all conference down there in Cincinnati, and as I say on the broadcast, defenses have to be annoying, and he was very annoying. Very annoying. So anyway, that's what I really thought about. I was happy as can be that those guys looked like they're making the team, and I got my good friend Ezra Cleveland to watch, and no, this is going to be just fine.
So they're going to play the Cardinals on Saturday tomorrow as we record this. Are they should I care whether they win or lose?
Well, you shouldn't really care if they win or lose, but it should be interesting to watch who they play and watch the ones that are hanging out. At this point in time, they're going to start cutting people. And
it seems to me that I watched a couple of other games just in passing, just flipping through the channels, and at the start of the game, they got their starters playing.
Yeah, we don't have any of that stuff here.
I'm concerned again because we're going to get to game 1, and the first half is going to look like a. Well, there's a whole bunch of adjectives you could put in there, folks. You fill it in for me, because I can't probably say them on TV.
What he's saying is the first game generally looks haphazard.
Wow. That was a euphemism for us. Beep, beep, beep.
No, it can really look bad. I remember my old friend Bags Hagelin would walk away after we'd played Little Fort for a pre-season scrimmage, and he'd walk away just shaking his head, and I'm thinking, that's Neil Ladston I'm trying to block out there, It was an all-state, so it was.
Well, let's transfer from pro to college.
Let's do that.
Because the Gophers play 6 days from today.
Well, let me tell you about those Gophers. They're getting excitable, and I tell you why, is that they were only replacing one offensive lineman, and I think they found a couple to go with them. And so that's the key, and they're going to have to rely on some passing, and they're going to have to rely on some receivers.
Do they have enough running backs? Everybody transferred out. Do they got enough running backs?
Yeah, I think they do, because I don't think they're going to run as much as they did before. But
no, I agree. There's a change. I saw on the Star Tribune that they had a nice picture of PJ on the top, and how they are athletic, socially. These guys are great.
They are. They're all going to
now, would PJ say anything different than that, even if they were the worst football team in America?
They're all going to get PhDs, become Supreme Court justices.
Yeah, of course.
You never know.
Hope springs eternal, right?
Yeah.
They play Nebraska on Thursday. Big Ten game right off the bat at home. It's sold out.
You can't get a ticket. Wear your gold. And so, yeah, no, it's going to be, and it's an evening game.
So, George, here's the question. The Bronco football team plays at the very same time as the Gopher football team. What are you going to be doing on Thursday night? What's the plan?
Well, I'm going to be listening to one and watching the other. And also, I like the football game because I a lot of times do this anyway. I record it and then I sneak a peek if I can't sleep that night or maybe first thing in the morning. Because I'll tell you, tomorrow at 1:30 in the afternoon, Navy is going to play Notre Dame, and I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, which team are you cheering for?
I'm pulling for Navy.
As an Army guy, can you do that?
I can, and I always said my first favorite teams are Army, Navy, and Air Force.
What happened with the Marine? Never mind.
Well, they go to
I know they go to the Navy. They're Navy guys.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Okay, so Gophers win handily, win big.
They have to win handily. In fact, they have to do real well this season, and they, and like how do you? What does that mean? Well, you have to go through. They're going to lose a few games. You got to beat Wisconsin, and it sure would be nice to beat Iowa just once in my lifetime while we're young. It's just I don't mean to get excited
I'm
about
sensing
that.
a little stress there, George.
It does.
It's a little stressful for you.
And then the other thing is about the Gophers is they're playing in North Carolina.
In a couple weeks, in a couple Saturdays.
You try to get a Minnesota ticket to that one. All the booking agents got all the rooms and all the flights. Might have to try this one of these days. They just jump on an airplane. They take you to the ball game. You drink beer and eat food. They take you back to the airplane and you fly home. And I just like, geez, sounds all right to me.
Oops. Oh. Sorry about that. I got to be on call though, with that new job. I just got to make sure that I'm available. Yeah. So, okay, so they do win. You want them to win big. Do they win big? Nebraska, I think has lost 5 straight to the Gophers.
Well,
they ain't going to come in
happy.
happy.
But they're going to come. They got a new coach. They got a new program.
That's the unknown. That's the hard part of this.
That's the hard part. So structurally, I'm not so sure that Nebraska still doesn't have a lot of drawing power. And last year they were a better team at the beginning than they were at the end. I'm not so sure you can count on that every year.
Yeah.
Gophers by 3 touchdowns.
Holy crap.
3 touchdowns.
Okay, let's go back to Notre Dame and Navy. How much does Notre Dame win by? I know you're pulling for Navy, but how much does Notre? Because ESPN, of course, is tooting the horn about how great they are, and I've heard this song and dance before.
Every time I watch Army and Navy go in to Notre Dame or play Michigan or any of those top teams, boy, they come out spitting fire. And Notre Dame, our Navy from time to time, has beat Notre Dame in this contest. Army from time to time beats Michigan in these contests. And so I like to see them continue as long as nobody gets hurt. But I'll tell you what, I got a Navy shirt I'll put on, and so I'm looking forward to the game.
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to any college football game at this point. So we'll talk more college football next week when. I don't know. I don't know. We'll probably do a show on Friday again next week, so we can talk about the Gophers and we can talk about the Broncos and everything that's gone on. So, I got to finish football. Got to talk about the Blue Bombers. Forgot that they were playing last night. I was a little busy.
Yeah.
Sat down, got comfy for the evening, and I turned the TV on, and it's like CFL football comes up on the right-hand side, and I'm like, hey, that's right, the Blue Bombers are playing. So I got in about the middle of the third quarter. They won handily over Montreal last night, so they're 9-2, cruising in the West. Things are looking good.
That crowd there does not remain quiet.
No, they're pretty electric.
They really are. They were pumped up and screaming and spilling beer, and I mean they were having themselves a good time.
I'm sure there was a little beer involved. Yeah. So Toronto tonight versus Calgary. Toronto 7-1. So are we going to see a rematch in the Grey Cup? It sure seems that way, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see. That's why they play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go next?
Well, I just met Toppin. If you're interested in NFL games.
Yeah.
Tonight there are 3 of them: Detroit at Carolina, New England at Tennessee, and the LA Chargers at the 49ers.
Those are all on TV?
They're all rigged up there.
Wow.
So, but they all could be interesting, just to see who's there and who's doing what and like that. So, Anyway, you want to go to the Twins quickly?
No, I want to talk because I can see Mitch
got a
watching.
track guy.
They're watching
Talk to us about this track.
the World Track and Field Championships are going on. Have you been watching?
I watched real close the first 3 days, and then other things were
Got in your way?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I haven't seen any since.
So, what's the favorite event for you? I mean, what's the biggie? I mean,
Wow, that's a tough question. I was a distance runner myself.
sure.
So that always fascinates me, but boy, watching those sprinters.
Yeah,
He did,
yeah.
you
The
know,
hundreds are the classics, and the American sweep win both
He
hundreds.
told me one time, I said, you've had a preponderance of really good sprinters. What do you tell them? Run that way, very fast.
Yeah, run fast.
A good start always helps.
A good
Get out of the blocks, stay low, and drive out of there, right? I mean, that's
you did have some smokers out of the blocks.
yeah.
You had
It's
some
easy to
good
be a
ones.
good coach when you got speed.
Yeah.
that's no matter what sport you're
No matter
coaching.
what sport you're
That's
in.
right.
Speed kills.
Yeah.
They say that for a reason. Yeah, I like what they're showing. I would prefer that they show a little bit more of the weight events. The throwers and the jumpers. I like to watch the pole vault and the high jumps and everything. And if you turn Peacock on or one of those other, they keep you up to date on those things. So I'm a field guy. I like to go watch those field events.
Yeah.
Even when I go watch a track and field meet, I still like to go watch the field events.
Sport is track and field.
It is tracking. Somebody told me that 15, 20 years ago. So
Well, no, you got a guy that goes out there. He's 6'5", 260 pounds, and he throws the discus out of the stadium into the sky. The thing disappears. I mean, these guys just launch that sucker. Even a little smaller guy doing the javelin, it goes in the air. It just keeps right on going. Now, and then we get the horses. They go 280 pounds, and they put the shot. I mean, what are they doing? About 72, 73 feet these days?
Hey, 77 plus.
77
77 feet, 16-pound piece of metal. Yeah.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I finally, about Monday or Tuesday, I finally looked at the TV schedule. I'm like, geez, when's this on? 1:30 in the morning to 4 in the morning, and then 1:30 in the afternoon to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm like, well, I guess just gonna have to read about it. I guess that's a tough schedule.
Yeah, it is.
But it is what it is.
Speaking of, you were talking about shot putters.
Yeah.
A guy named Peyton Otterdale.
Yeah.
Fifth in the World Championships, threw 71 feet plus. He's a Minnesota boy.
He's a Minnesota
Oh,
guy.
yeah, he's from the U. Yeah, he set all kinds of records at the U, and Big Ten champion about 3 years in a running, I believe. And I saw a picture of him, and he looks like top caliber weight man. He's just
So you want to talk about the Twins? What are you going to tell me about the Twins that's going to make me
they
happy?
won a big game last
They
night.
won a huge game last night.
Yeah, see,
I didn't know that.
sometimes I hit these adjectives, and when he realizes he had the same one, then he says, "Holy, he's not entirely dumb." But I tell you what I was going to say is, you want to talk about this is the starting lineup that we picked that would be doing all the hitting. We would be picking Michael Taylor. We would be picking Kyle Farmer. We would be picking Rice Lewis. All these guys. Oh, those are future Twins champions. But Michael Taylor has played center field all year long and done a good,
Great job.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
going great. I love them out there.
And last night he plugged 2 dingers, and it's just like he went 2 for 3 and 2 2-2s, and I thought, he's been a little sly on the bat, but who cares as long as he's playing that center field so well. And all of a sudden now,
Well,
he's hitting the ball.
I didn't look this up, but I'm going to guess. If I'm going to guess, and this is a pure off the top of my head, I would say he's either second or third on the team in home runs.
He is. He's got 15 of them, and he's just and nobody has ever in ninth position got this many home runs in the team. And so he's got 15 of them. Well, you generally don't have your strongest hitter, but he does. But that being said, they all can hit dingers, and they all look at that. Oh,
You ever thrown a javelin before? We're watching javelin, by the way. You ever thrown
I
one?
have not.
and then I want to. And another guy that we've been watching all summer and knew that he was probably coming up, that's Kyle Farmer, 435-foot home run. and you think, oh, put that sucker way up into the second deck, and and people were just absolutely going nuts. That's the longest he's ever hit. And then, and Royce Lewis, he joins in, he gets to come on too. And I'm looking at this, and this is my theory of generational change. This is what you see right there.
Those guys didn't hit the game-winning hit. All three of those guys did not hit the game-winning hit last night. Are you going to give Ryan Jeffers his due for?
They wouldn't have won. Jeffers is right. He got the winning hit, but they wouldn't have won without those 4 home runs.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree that it was very disappointing considering the number of days they've had off recently, and it's tough to get into sync. But they went and lost 2 tough games in Milwaukee.
They did.
The 10th inning one on Wednesday, that was particularly tough. But to see them bounce back against maybe the best team in the American League, maybe in the Texas Rangers, to be able to dig out of a hole, come back and win, that was a big win. That was a huge win.
It was a huge win.
It was a huge win. Now, I'm not going to say that they're going to win all 4 of them over the weekend, because it's probably not going to be that way, because they're going to see Max Scherzer and whatever else, and Texas has got a very good team.
Well, Gray goes tonight, and
well, they don't score any runs for Sonny Gray. They take the night off, just like they do against Pedro.
These kids are going to start. If these kids are going to start getting dingers, I mean, the two home runs that he got were off the same pitcher. He didn't learn the first time.
Well, believe it or not, the Twins are 6 games ahead of Cleveland.
6 games ahead. Yeah.
6 games with a month plus to
36
go.
games left.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, with the new job, I'm not following as close. I'm having a tough time. You notice that there's notes today because.
Do you ever write up any more sports shows? None.
No, I don't do that.
Don't do that.
Now, the Rangers are 1 game ahead of Seattle and Houston in the West.
Yes.
I didn't realize that Seattle was still hanging in there. So the Rangers have got a lot to fight for. The Orioles are 2 up on the Rays, and I know you like the Orioles.
I tell you, I told you at the beginning, who are you going to pick out of that division? And I says, the Baltimore Orioles. And where did you get this? I read the sports page of the Washington Post.
Is Aaron Boone going to be the manager with the Yankees by the end of the season?
I don't see how. I mean, Boston is kicking their butt, and I don't know, so many games ahead of them. And
yeah, I don't see Aaron Boone keeping his job.
No.
They're going to clean house with the Yankees. You can't.
They will.
Even with Aaron Judge being out of the lineup for as long as he was, you don't lose 9 in a row in August and expect to keep your job. So
with the Yankees.
I can't believe he's going to make it to the end of the season, but he might make it there. But he's not going to be there when spring training comes around.
No.
That's my belief. The Braves are up by 13 and a half.
Jeez, I can't believe this.
The Brewers are up 3 on. Shockingly, I got to be honest with you, the Chicago Cubs are in second place in the NL Central, and the Dodgers have been out of their minds recently. They're 12 ahead. Arizona has gone 8-2 in their last 10 and made up no ground on the 8-2 over the last 10 LA Dodgers.
No, the Dodgers are hot.
That hurts.
And the reason that the Twins are 6 games up is that Cleveland goes to LA and gets beat up. And so thanks Dodge.
Yeah, so the Texas and then Cleveland. We got Cleveland for 3, right?
Yeah.
Starting next week, so that'll be a huge.
It will.
A big series.
It will.
You want to talk about your good friend Shohei Ohtani?
I talked to my guru friend, and he said, you can't play him at both positions and intensify it. He's going to get hurt. And so here he is.
Boom.
Here he is now. And remember, a Tommy John surgery before Tommy John was a career-ending situation. And so I feel really bad. And somewhere along the line, when they brought up, they compared Dave Winfield to him because he both pitched and hit. And then, of course, he went to just to hitting with the Yankees. But he says he was our Ohtani, and nobody recognized it at the time because nobody thought it was possible. So
you didn't do it.
You just didn't do it.
After college, if you didn't go to the pros and do that, it was crazy. It was out of it.
I saw him throw a one-hitter and hit 2 home runs in a Big Ten championship game, or at least the playoff thing. He was an amazing baseball player.
In case you don't know, Ohtani tore his UCL ligament. That's the Tommy John ligament. So he's going to play to the end of the season. Then I think they'll do surgery, and he won't play he won't play a down. He won't play an inning next season.
He won't pitch though, right? He's just going to hit.
No pitch, just hitting. He's done. He's done there. He's on the shelf.
Yeah.
I assume that you heard about our good friend Wyatt.
No.
No, you did not. Okay,
okay.
well, here, let's talk about our good friend Wyatt, because Wyatt was trying to leg out an infield hit last week and had a collision at first base with the second baseman, if I read my notes correctly. And when they hit, he was knocked unconscious and has not been in the lineup since.
Oh, I noticed when he dropped out of the lineup, and I couldn't believe it because he was hitting about 280, and he was 3 for 4 the night before, or 2 days before that, and he just dropped out. That was an injury.
So, talked to his father last night at the volleyball game and asked him how it was going. He said he tried to hit, I think it would have been Thursday, and maybe it was Wednesday, 'cause I think he said yesterday. And he said it's not good. He's going through the concussion protocols, and he's having a tough time getting whatever. So why get better, doggone it?
Yeah.
The stretch run is coming here. You got to keep.
That explains how they didn't do that well in Winnipeg, and so they lost to him this weekend up there.
So right now, despite losing their last two, they're in third place. Top 4 teams make the playoffs. So hopefully Wyatt can get himself back into shape and be ready. Get ready for the playoffs.
That's what you do for the Sioux Falls, the Canaries. When they do things well, chirp, 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 chirp. Just like anybody else would think, well, they're booing them, but no, not Sioux Falls.
You been watching any Little League?
I have been watching a little bit. I saw this kid from Taiwan. He was about 6'3" and just throws bullets.
Huh?
Yeah.
So he'll be ready to pitch on Sunday, or are they going to? I don't know. I haven't been following along close enough.
Haven't you? That's the one that I saw, and I only saw him. Saw a highlight film, and because they were going. There's all kinds of really good baseball players in Little League, and then all of a sudden they bring this kid out, and he is tall and lean and go. And these kids at the other end, hey, you can't hit. Difficult to hit when you can't see it.
And, California versus Texas on the U.S. Championship side tomorrow, and the Caribbean versus Taiwan for the international. And the winners will play on Sunday, and the losers will play on Sunday.
Well, and the other thing is about this Little League, you can only throw so many pitches. I don't know how many it is, but it's not very many.
85, I think is the number that they can get to.
He only needs 27, but
pretty close. So, always an exciting time of the year. And
it is.
I did again flipping through the channels the other day, and I caught the end of a 9-inning game. I think California beat Tennessee, I think it was, in 9 innings. They only play 6, so it went 9 innings, and this kid, ball gets hit up the middle, and the shortstop dives onto second base. He rolls all the way over, stands up, and throws a bullet off of his knees to first base to get the guy by about a half a step.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, he's 12. That's not too shabby.
You take a look at all the guys that are playing in the pros. I'm telling you, at 12 years old, they were good baseball players. They
were good.
They could do that.
They were good.
But the rest of us were hitting each other in the head. They could actually hit the ball.
So, has your wife got the computer all set so she can watch Gopher volleyball tonight?
No, she hasn't. But
Sue, get on it. Come on.
She's with her grandson right now, and I don't know. She has to remain flexible in her scheduling, but she will do that. She is a volleyball freak.
Gopher volleyball is ranked number 7 in the nation. They have their first match tonight on their home floor. They're taking on TCU tonight, and then number 15 Baylor tomorrow.
Well, TCU's
they've been there. They've been there. So the Gopher volleyball team with their new coach. You can't say it's Hugh McCutcheon anymore. And right now, for the life of me, I can't think of what his name is. So I won't even try. But Gopher volleyball. Did you get up and watch the women's soccer final on Sunday morning?
No, I didn't. I was still crushed by the USA loss. I caught it a little bit later because you might not know this, but they showed it throughout the day and most of the next day. So
they did.
They did. Congratulations to Spain. I like English attitudes, which is.
That goaltender for England scared the bejeebers out of me.
Yeah.
She apparently is pretty good, but every time they showed her close up, she had this look on her face like she was like possessed or something. And I'm like, whoa. Yeah, she scared me.
I just want to toss this little item out, and it is not volleyball, but it is college women's basketball. Iowa will try to set an all-time women's basketball attendance record when it hosts DePaul in an outdoor exhibition, 69,000 people at Kinnick Stadium on October 15th.
Outdoor basketball.
And that's
They'll get it.
They'll break that.
Those Iowa people haven't got anything to cheer for except for the Hawkeyes and the Cyclones. Sorry, all you Iowegians, especially you. Oh, in Northern Iowa. Sorry, I can feel the Evan Hamdahl typing the message. What? Anyway, UNI. Don't forget about UNI.
No, I won't forget
The
about
Panthers.
The whole state can wrestle. I'll tell you that.
They can. There's no doubt about that.
No doubt
Are you
about that.
concerned about the kiss, by the way, between the Spanish player and the president or whatever he is of the federation in Spain? Are you worried about? Is this because they said he was going to resign, and then it came out today he ain't resigning. Go ahead and run your.
I coached girls for 7 years. I really couldn't see. I mean, for all the hugs and tears and the rest of it. Oh my Lord!
You didn't even kiss your daughter.
No. Just I wouldn't embarrass her. No, that was completely out of bounds. He had no right to do that. Besides, what I coached were high school girls. These are real live women. He's lucky one of them didn't reach back and give him a pop, because you guarantee that's not the first time he's done that, as they'll probably come. So yeah, I was offended. I thought that was dumb.
What about the Lynx?
The Lynx are amazing.
What are they doing to that top draft pick that we were talking about 3 months ago?
I don't know, and it's just like, and then they look just awful, and they get blown out by a team that shouldn't blow them out, and then they pulled it out last night after being down about 15 points.
They're 17-17, 500. They have. I don't think they've been above 500. I don't think they've been to 500 all season. They're third place in the West, and fifth in the entire league. What the heck?
Yeah.
Shocking. They play New York Liberty tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on a Saturday. No easy contest.
No. If they're going to play at that level and they're going to get back into that turnaround round, though, or
they're going to start. They got to beat teams like the New York Liberty. I won't. Cheryl Reeve is amazing. I no doubt she'll find a way.
Yeah.
The Las Vegas Aces won their 30th game last night. You understand that they only played 36 games the entire regular season, right? Yeah, I think they're 30 and like 3 or something.
That's not many.
That's pretty doggone good.
Yeah, it is. Anytime you're 30 in anything.
30 and when you're only playing 36, that's pretty good. Okay, U.S. basketball World Championships get started.
I watched Anthony Edwards play. He got 36 points. He was passing the ball around, and I thought, this is what we want from you.
They used the terminology the other day. I think it was on ESPN someplace. It doesn't matter. They used the term, not is he all NBA, he's all world.
Yeah.
So are we finally saying now? I thought about this on the way out when I was driving out here. Michael Jordan was drafted in 1984, I believe. Maybe it was 85. Doesn't matter. He didn't win his first championship until 1991. So that's either 6 or 7 seasons, maybe whatever. Okay? This is Anthony Edwards' 4th year coming up, I believe. Timberwolves fans, can we be patient enough?
He's 22 years old.
Can we wait? Can we wait another 3 years and keep building? Okay, we got back to the playoffs. Now we got to win a round. Now we got to win. We got to get to that championship in the West, and then we can win it, right? We got to be patient. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. What about the USA basketball?
What I was amazed at, number one, was most of the USA basketball they didn't play very good defense, and so
they don't play much defense in the
They don't play much defense at all, and so
a lot of the NBA players would be mad at me for saying that. But
well, it's kind of true, but. They were in close games. They came back, and Edwards, every time he threw something
200-meter women's final right now. They're off. The 200-meter women's final on live right now from Budapest. We're watching it. We're going to see what happens here as they come off the turn, and the lady from Jamaica is way out in front. Does she have the sustaining speed? She's
nobody
away.
Going to catch her.
Holy cats, look at her go. Is this going to be a world record? She is out in front like I can't believe.
Boy, 5 yards.
21-41. The win was +1. They're not saying a world record, but... Oh, wait a minute. What does that say there?
He gets excited when he gets a little crack. Live action going.
Yeah, that's great.
He has a tendency to...
I don't think 21-41 is the world record, but... Hey, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's what we live for right there.
And I always contended, when you compared like NBA basketball players, yeah, they can jump, they can run, They can't run like the sprinters. Though. The sprinters, they could just fly. And what
crazy.
makes a flyer?
I can't believe she was pulling away like that.
Why should those women be able to run any faster than me? I don't understand.
So USA basketball, 7:40 a.m. Saturday against New Zealand.
Well, we got something to watch.
7:40 a.m. versus Greece on Monday. And then 3:40 a.m. I want everybody up for this. 3:40 a.m. Wednesday morning against Jordan. Jordan. That's their first 3 games. My question to you is, are they going to win the gold medal?
I don't know.
I like that answer because that's where I'm at. I don't know either. There's too many other good teams out there. I mean, it's not just the United States and everybody else.
No, Greece has been winning championships.
Well, yeah, Spain.
Germany.
You want to bet against Jokic and the rest of the crew? I mean, come on. This is a tournament that I'd love to watch. If you got ESPN Plus, every game's on ESPN Plus. You can't go wrong.
In the old days, we had all the NBA players against the world. Now, our NBA players come from all over the world.
From the world.
And so, and they go back. We even had one guy from the Wild go and play for China. Because he had a great-grandfather or something that had some Chinese heritage, and apparently that allows him to make the team.
That's how it works these days.
That's how it works these days.
So, yeah. Well, like I said, I think it's for at least a couple of weeks with the round robin and everything. It's kind of like the World Soccer. It goes on forever, and they'll make the medal round, and then things will get interesting.
Yeah.
Then they'll turn it on.
Yes.
So, what else? What else you got?
What else? I did have some notes here, but I think I probably used them up.
Let's talk Broncos.
Let's talk
While
about
he's
Broncos.
looking.
I went and saw some football yesterday.
Yeah, and
I want this 6'5", 235-pound kid to move to town quickly.
you want one to move to town, or you want
Two would be better.
Two would be better. Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah.
I thought as long as you were asking for Santa Claus for one, you might as well bring 2. I will say this. I will say this. I talked to the head coach this morning, and he said they need to hit somebody else. I said, why? He says, well, things are getting a little tense at practice.
Good.
So he said they're ready to go scrimmage on Saturday morning in Deer River. So that's a good sign. Bronco football plays their first game. They play against Ely. I've been saying this now, and I haven't looked it up, and shame on me, but I will get it done. I believe the last time the Broncos played Ely in football was 1977. Might have been 76, but I'll have to do some investigating on that.
I played my senior year there in '67. We played in Ely.
Okay.
And that was.
I played there in a snowstorm for a community college football game.
Against Ely.
Against the Tin Men. The Tin Men, I call you Iron Men. They're not even the Iron Men, they're the Iron Hawks now. Come on!
He gets very, very obsessed when opponents come at him like that.
Bronco volleyball started last night, got a win over 2 Harbors in 4 sets with the varsity. So that was nice to see, despite the very humid and slippery conditions inside of the Falls High Gymnasium. It was a battle with the humidity. So hopefully those things will get straightened away. Cross country team, they get started with their first meet next Tuesday in Bonnet. 10 o'clock meet over at Lake of the Woods. And the girls swimming and diving team is at home on Tuesday. We got a doubleheader on Tuesday. Girls swimming and diving at 4:30. You want to talk about humid? Swimming will be humid. But they would like that slickeriness. They want to slide through that water. So we'll have a doubleheader, volleyball and swimming. Girls swimming and diving.
But they didn't allow water.
Just so you know, Live Barn is a way of watching. You know about Live Barn, I'm sure. Live Barn now going to be in our pool and our arenas.
Really?
So I believe everything should be ready to go for Tuesday. Maybe not, but I think the guy got everything installed this week. So we will have we'll have Live Barn for.
Is that going to work for football games too?
No. We still got huddle in the gym and on the football field. So they'll keep us busy. I know Little Fork Big Falls His volleyball's playing Chisholm. They started at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Would have been fun to go down and watch, but that's not my.
You can't do that anymore.
Can you be the athletic director?
You did this radio announcing for what, 7 years, 8 years?
Lots of years.
How many miles did you put on your vehicle? Your vehicles need a break.
I'll say this: I was putting about 30,000 miles a year on my vehicle.
That's about 3 times what the ordinary person. The ordinary, but does about 12.
So somewhere in that vicinity.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what UND hockey games and everything else. It wasn't all for sports, but yeah, lots of miles on the car, no doubt about it. So.
But it's one time. Well, I don't even want to get into that. But we went to Hinckley, and I came back, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I said to Sue, "Can you come to bed?" I said, "No, I can't," and went through my blues playlist.
Yeah, we got the Blues Hour. Make sure you can be listening. Just go to rjbroadcasting.com.
Good.
And you can listen. It'll be on at 10 o'clock on Saturday night. Is that?
It's not after the
Is it the
baseball game,
Twins are on late again, right?
We got easy eye music this week.
All right, that's what we're looking for. Anything else that we need to discuss?
I don't think so. Hey, next week the Broncos will all get into action. Everything will turn.
Everything will be in full flight.
It'll be in full flight.
Nick, appreciate you being here. Always good to see you.
Are you coming up for the cross country meet?
Well, is there a home?
We are going to be having a home cross country meet. You want to come up and start it?
I'd love to.
There you go. I know the athletic director.
I don't even want to find her seat. I don't even want to find her seat.
We'll get the paperwork worked out, and we'll have you up here. October 10th, a Tuesday.
October 10th.
Yep. And we're going to start it on the track and end it on the track, I believe.
Okay. And
Seems how we don't have any golf courses.
area.
We're going to use the area around the practice fields. So, might be a little, I don't know. We're going to find out. We got to give it a whirl. We cannot let the Heil Pike not be run because
Right.
we got to make it work. It's been going on since 1950. No, it's like 60 years. Let's see, 60.
Let's see. My first year in the Falls was, I think, the second year that they ran the meet.
So you were here.
So that would have been the fall of '68.
And Mr.
Okay,
Pike
so
is
60
still alive then, right?
Oh yeah, very much.
67 was the first year, so that's about 55, 56
Yeah.
years somewhere in there.
Yeah, I
we can't let
remember.
her go. We got to run her.
I remember zipping Heil around the course on
Yeah.
one of those little putt-putts the golfers use instead of walking.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was a remarkable man.
Heil, yeah, good guy.
Guys, appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.